What if everything you've ever known could be compared, measured, and then completely dwarfed by something so massive it makes Earth look like nothing? Today, we're not just exploring space, we're revealing its true scale. Here you are, about 1.8 meters tall. Everything you have ever touched, everyone you have ever loved, every room you've ever walked into, all of it fits inside a sliver of altitude so thin that from space it's essentially invisible. The air you breathe, the atmosphere, that fragile, precious film of gas that makes all life on Earth possible. Proportionally, it's thinner than the coat of lacquer on a classroom globe. Your world, your whole world, is a surface detail. Now we zoom out. Earth, 12,742 kilometers in diameter. If you drove around its equator non-stop, no sleeping, no fuel stops, highway speed the whole way, it would take you over 16 days to get back to where you started. At this scale, you, that person we started with, are already gone. You are smaller than a bacterium on a basketball. You literally cannot be rendered. The moon orbits about 384,000 kilometers out. That's roughly 30 Earths placed side by side. In the famous photograph taken by Apollo astronauts, the one where you can block the entire Earth with your thumb, that's real. That's how small we are from the moon. We haven't even left our neighborhood yet. Now the sun enters the frame, 1.39 million kilometers across. You could line up 109 Earths across its face. You could fit more than 1 million Earths inside its volume. The sun contains 99.86% of all the mass in this solar system. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid, every comet, all of it combined is rounding error. And yet, among stars in our galaxy, our sun is average, maybe slightly below. Let's see what big actually looks like. Betelgeuse, the orange star you've seen in Orion's shoulder your entire life. It's a red supergiant. If you swapped it in for our sun right now, its surface would engulf Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and extend past the orbit of Jupiter, about 700 times the diameter of our sun. But Betelgeuse is not the biggest. Scuti, roughly 1/700 times the diameter of the sun. If it were hollow, you could fit approximately 5 billion suns inside it. 5 billion suns. Light itself, traveling at 300,000 kilometers every second, would take over 7 hours to cross from one side of that star to the other. Scuti is one star, in one galaxy, among 2 trillion galaxies. Keep going, pull back further, and our solar system comes into view. Just reaching Neptune, our outermost planet, takes about 4.5 billion kilometers. Voyager 1, launched in 1977, is the furthest human-made object in existence. It's been traveling at over 61,000 kilometers per hour for nearly 50 years. It is just crossing the edge of the heliosphere, the sun's outermost influence bubble. Here's the thing that most space videos won't show you honestly. The solar system is almost entirely empty. Scale the sun down to a grapefruit. Mercury is 2 meters away. Pluto, 200 meters distant, and the nearest star, over 1,000 kilometers from your grapefruit. Space is not full of stuff. Space is full of nothing. Now, finally, our galaxy, the Milky Way, 105,000 light-years across, between 100 and 400 billion stars. Our solar system sits about 26,000 light-years from the center, in a minor spiral arm called the Orion Arm. We orbit the galactic core once every 225 million years. The last time Earth was in this exact position in its galactic orbit, dinosaurs hadn't evolved yet. It was the Triassic. The first small reptiles were just appearing. If you wanted to send a radio signal to someone on the far side of the Milky Way and get a reply, you'd wait 200,000 years. And the Milky Way, for all its 400 billion stars, is a medium-sized galaxy. Our neighbor Andromeda is bigger. It's also heading straight toward us. In about 4.5 billion years, they will collide and merge into something astronomers already have a name for: Milkdromeda. But we're not done zooming. Step back further, and our galaxy shrinks to a dot among dozens. This is the local group, more than 54 galaxies bound together by gravity, spread across roughly 10 million light-years. The Milky Way and Andromeda dominate. Between them, a scattering of dwarf galaxies, some barely larger than a globular cluster. Now pull back again, and the local group itself becomes a small node in something vast, the Virgo supercluster, over 100 galaxy groups and clusters, 520 million light-years across. But in 2014, astronomers redrew the map entirely. The Virgo supercluster, it turns out, is just one lobe of something much larger, a gravitational watershed they called Laniakea, a Hawaiian word. It means immeasurable heaven. Laniakea contains roughly 100,000 galaxies. Its total mass is approximately 100 million billion suns. And our Milky Way, that vast island of 400 billion stars, is one tiny current in its outskirts. Pull back one final time. At this scale, billions of light-years, individual galaxies are invisible. Even galaxy clusters are too small to see. What you see instead are filaments. Vast, luminous threads of dark matter and galaxies stretching across hundreds of millions of light-years. Between them, enormous, empty voids. Cosmic deserts so large that the Milky Way would be a single grain of sand inside them. This is the cosmic web, the large-scale structure of the universe, and it looks eerily, almost disturbingly, like the neural network of a brain, like synapses, like thought. The largest single structure ever identified within this web is called the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, 10 billion light-years from end to end. Let that actually settle. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. This structure is nearly as long as time itself has existed, and by current physics, it should not be there. It should not have had enough time to form. We do not fully understand how it exists. The cosmos is still surprising us. And finally, the limit of everything, the observable universe, 93 billion light-years in diameter. Not the edge of space. There may be no edge. This is simply the boundary of what light has had time to reach us from since the Big Bang. Beyond this sphere, more universe almost certainly exists. We will never know what's out there, not because we lack the technology, but because the universe is expanding faster than light can carry that information to us. Inside this sphere, an estimated 2 trillion galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars, each of those stars, potentially, with planets. Some of those planets, potentially, with oceans, with atmospheres, with whatever comes next. And in all of that, every single civilization, every piece of music, every war, every act of love, every language ever spoken on Earth, all of it happened on a pale blue dot so small that from the edge of our own solar system it vanished into a sunbeam. Here's what I want you to sit with. Most people, when confronted with the scale of the universe, feel small, insignificant, like none of it matters. But that is exactly backwards. Every atom in your body was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in every breath you are taking right now. All of it, created in stellar explosions, billions of years before our sun was born. You are not a small thing looking at a big universe. You are the universe, arranged somehow into a shape that can look back at itself and feel wonder. As far as we know, in all that dark, in all those filaments, in all those 2 trillion galaxies, that is extraordinarily rare. We started with you, one person, 1.8 meters tall, standing on the ground. We traveled from that single human body to Earth, to the sun, to the largest stars ever measured across the solar system, through the Milky Way, past the local group, through Laniakea, across the cosmic web, all the way to the edge of the observable universe, from 1.8 meters to 93 billion light-years, and we came back. And if this shifted how you see things, even slightly, share it. Send it to someone who needs to feel small and significant at the same time. Subscribe if you want more of this. We've barely scratched the surface. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. You are here for a blink. Look up more often.